Let's go. What's up, Rhino Nation? Welcome to the Rhino Roundtable Live, where you can throw in your questions. What's going on, David Dodge? Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Okay.
Amazing. Like we're sitting.
I'm working on my audio video over here. How we doing,
What's going on, Top Gun? No sound for you, Chris Raddick. I don't hear anything.
Brent, what's going on, brother? How are things?
Hey, really good. We just got back from a family bowling trip, and so just excited to do the live Rhino Roundtable. Got kids napping. I'm going to try and keep the bell down a little bit, but we're still going to give hell. Yeah, thanks for jumping on the Rhino Roundtable Live. I know we don't have your presence very long, David, so we're gonna use and abuse and enjoy you while we can.
Hey, that's fine with me, guys. That's fine with me.
I heard you double
Raddick, how we doing, brother?
Can you guys hear me all right now?
Yeah.
Bam. Yes, absolutely.
Right, here we go. Yeah, we're down at the lake. I've been living down here for the month, and we got lots of kids over, family joining us. So it's a little crazy right now. So I'm hiding here in the corner. So
that's all right. That's all right. Hey, what's going on, Kermit Rice? Good morning. Well, let's start it off with some questions. Kermit, feel free to throw in your questions as well. Hey, what's going on, Frank? Have to see the cat. Hey, what is that cat? Was that a cat? I don't know if that was a cat. Was something weird walking behind you?
Cat running around here.
All right. Well, the first question that's popped up is how to get started with no money and no credit. Well, I can definitely remember those days. Let's go ahead. You want to start off, David Dodge?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think all
three of us had that issue.
So that the easiest way to get started with no money and no credit is to learn how to wholesale. It's learn how to gain control of properties with contracts. And if we have the ability to use a contract to gain control of a property, we don't need to buy the property in order to sell the property. We don't need to buy the property in order to wholesale the property. So wholesaling doesn't require money. It doesn't require credit. All it requires is the drive to be successful and be consistent and, talk to a lot of sellers. So getting started, guys, don't overthink it. That's it. Learn how to use contracts, learn how to market. Marketing is just a fancy word for getting people on the phone. That's all that means for those that don't get it. So get on the phone with a lot of people and solve some problems and use contracts to gain control. You don't need money. You don't need credit. Bowers, back to you, brother.
I love it. Corey Abrams, that's an amazing question because I feel like that was me just starting out, but I had no money and no time. I actually did have a little credit, but when I really had the gun to my head, it was no money, no time. And I agree, getting properties under contract and finding the people with the money or with the time. I mean, people love you for this. Go out and be a deal finder. I got Harper behind me here. Good afternoon. Be a deal finder. When you find these deals, people are going to bring the money to you. And this is not hocus pocus. You're going to have to work to find these buyers by putting out signs and putting stuff on Craigslist and, going to the foreclosure auction, all that stuff. It takes work. But yeah, you can get around that no money and no credit thing. Maybe you've got a sister or a brother-in-law that has that W-2 job and they have no money and no time, but they've got credit. There's so many ways you can get around this. People think that, oh my gosh, I got to do all this myself. It's greedy is all it is. You're keeping everything for yourself. There's so many people out there that want to join you. Chris Raddick, are you back?
I love what you just said there, Brent. You can joint venture with people left and right. There's tons of people out there. You either have the money, the credit, or the time.
That's so good.
Most people don't have the money or the credit. Let's be honest, but we all have time. And I know there's somebody watching right now that says, man, I wish I had the time. Let's talk about that just for a second while Raddick gets back on here.
Yeah,
we all probably watch at least an hour or two of television every day.
Oh, man.
I try not to, but we just get sucked in, right? After a long, hard day, sometimes you just want to unwind. But, that time is it's so wasted. It's not well spent, you know? And like we're in the car. Here's that cat that you guys were just talking about.
That's cool. Cool bobtail. No, it's
When
so
we're in the
true.
car, instead of listening to Katy Perry, no offense to Katy Perry, put on a podcast.
That's
the
right.
Wholesaling Inc. podcast is a great place to start.
I mean, I still get tips and techniques and gold nuggets from Wholesaling Inc. podcasts, our weekly calls. We had an expert note buyer on there. He's in our community. I mean, these type of things really educate us. And I'll tell you, I got hooked on that Lincoln Lawyer. I mean,
You like
how
that
much
show?
of that? Yeah, great show. But let me tell you, I'm not going to get that time back.
Right. That's true.
So stay away from it. Kermit Rice asks, what is the best CRM on a budget conscious lifestyle? Who wants to take a stab at that first? Because CRMs are not my thing. I can tell you what we use. I know I've heard great things about RE Simply, amazing things. I know Lauren loves it. As far as budget conscious, I say the budget conscious is a spreadsheet, or maybe like
I mean, I'm using RE Simply too. I love it. I think it's one of the easiest systems there is to use out there. It has a lot of robust features and tools and all that type of stuff, but somebody can learn the system in an hour or two. In most CRMs, it takes weeks, right? So, but here's the thing, budget conscious is going to be relative. Somebody's budget consciousness might be, $80 a month. Somebody else's could be 8,000. So, if you just are not looking to spend money at all, like you said, Brent, Google Sheets, keep track of who you talk to, use notepads. Yeah. When I first started, I was using folders. I think I had 4 folders. There you go. Look at that. I was using 4 folders, right? New leads, cold leads, warm leads, closed leads. That's it. And I would just have a printout. You guys want to make a bet and see how many times Raddick jumps on and off real quick here?
I'm guessing 3 more times. 3 more times.
I'm going with 4. Right. I'm going over under on 4.
All right. So yeah, if he jumps on more than 1 more time, someone gets a free victory bell today.
Hey, I love it. There it
chat
is.
Box.
There it is.
Send me that victory bell. And guys, we'll actually, what?
A for effort though. A for effort, Raddick. A for effort. Keep coming, brother. Keep coming.
Limited service at the lake house is what
that's right. Like. Yeah, Kermit, great question, man. Don't overthink it, right? I mean, 4 folders. I used that for 6 months. And then I moved over to Google Sheets for maybe about a month or 2. And then I went to a CRM. So I didn't even have a CRM for the first 7 or 8 months. You don't need one. Now, there's lots of benefits though. I think RE Simply is somewhere around $200 a month, give or take.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I love. That's what I used. I've tried them all, used them all. And, there's a lot of good ones out there. I just really like that one the best.
Yeah.
And, the great thing about it is that you're not going to need to go piece together 5, 6, 7 softwares. So, when you use Google Sheets, that's going to be a free version, but it's going to be limited. You're not going to have a phone system. You're not going to have e-signature. You're not going to have automated follow-up. You're not going to have the ability to tag team members and create notes that are going to be time-stamped and easily viewable, and or have an app that you can use to communicate not only with your team, but call, text, email, from that system or from that app.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the ability to set up campaigns and track those campaigns, right? If you're going to be driving for dollars or sending mail or cold calling or cold texting or radio ads or bandit signs or whatever it may be, you're going to want to track what marketing dollars are leading to how many appointments, which are leading to how many deals. And that's where the KPIs come in. And that system has really, really great KPIs. In fact, they got the best KPIs in the business.
Well, what if, some people, I feel like some people could get handicapped with that, setting up all those systems when really the revenue generating activities is talking to buyers and talking to sellers of houses and land or mobile homes, whatever you're going after. So I love the fact that you said Google Sheets. You got the name, you got the address, you got the phone number, you got the email, you got the FU date. That's the follow-up.
Follow-up. Yep.
So that's very important. And every day you can just have the follow-up date and just go through that list. And it doesn't take long, and that's free. Because if you ask me, should I spend $80 on letters that I've handwritten or $80 on a CRM? I say letters all day long.
I'd say letters too. I would say letters too. Absolutely. Agree. If your phone isn't ringing, you need to be ringing other people's phones, guys. It's that simple. right? I've been saying this a lot within my group lately. Marketing is a fancy word for getting people on the phone. That's it.
Okay.
Don't overthink it. You're either going to pay to get your message out into the universe so they call you, AKA get people on the phone, or you are doing the calling, the texting, the door knocking to get them in front of you, or AKA on the phone.
Yeah, like
So,
Brent Daniels says, be offensive. Always be in the offensive mode. It's kind of like riding a motorcycle. There's guys out there on bikes. You either have two guys. You got the motorcycle riders that get hit and the motorcycle riders that hit things. The offensive rider is the
Right.
one that's like going fast, passing everybody and smashes into something eventually. And then you got the slow, like defensive rider looking for everything.
He
Who's
ends
gonna
up
run
getting
me
hit.
over? Bam! And you get ran over. So be offensive. Because I'd
exactly
rather
right.
run into something than get hit by somebody else.
And Brent, here's another thing too, and I preach the hell out of this. You know, you got to get loud. And I think that Brent's probably been one of the people that has really drilled, and drilled that into me the most, right? You got to get loud. And I think what I mean by that and what he means by that is like, you can't keep your business a secret. You got to let everybody know that you're in the home buying business or the land buying business or whatever the business is. If it's a real estate business, it's a problem solving business. That's really what this is. This is a people to people business. We don't buy houses from houses. We buy houses from people. We buy land from people. It's a people business. So you got to get loud. You need to be shouting from the rooftops that you are in the I help people and fix problems business. And people are going to start bringing you deals. But if you keep that a secret and your friends and your family don't know, how do you expect to get any free leads?
Yeah, what problem do you solve? Because people are like, so what? I don't care how long you've been in business. I don't care what your website looks like, what your business card looks like. It's what can you do for me? Like right now, my problem is I'm losing my house to foreclosure. So
she's super cute.
So that's the problem. Chris, you with us?
Raddick.
I think I am. I think I'm back here with you guys.
Nope, he's frozen again.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't hear me.
Right. Hey, Jill, how are you? This is not Sire. This is Jill. All right, I love it. Simple cash offer. What's up, guys? What do you guys use for dispo, email, and sending out deals, SMSs? That's simple. We use MailChimp. That's what we use. And then our SMS is actually built in. So my CRM is Pipedrive, and our call system is Just Call. It's all integrated. So we use Just Call to send out our text. Before that, I really liked using Call Fire for our text message blast for our deals. When we would send them out to our cash buyers, I think Call Fire was one of the best things and easiest for me to use. I'm not a super tech guru like David Dodge.
Guys, there's an infinite amount of solutions to this. I mean, when it comes to emailing and SMS, Ari simply does both. So that checks both the boxes, which is great. In the past, I've used a ton of different solutions. And I don't even want to get into all of them, but there's a ton of them. Some of the cheapest ways to do it, I think, would probably be just using your own Gmail and then your own cell phone. You don't need to have more than 30 or 40 or 50 buyers in a particular area. Like here's the deal. My buyers list here in St. Louis, where I live and operate and have been doing this for almost 10 years. My email list is maybe 3,600 people. My SMS list is maybe somewhere around 700 or 800 people. But the percentage of the time that I actually utilize those lists is probably 10%. Reason being is if I have 3 or 4 people that I know that are buying in this zip code, do I really want to have 3,600 people respond to an email, wasting a bunch of time whenever I can call 2 or 3 people and I can do the deal in like half an hour? Right. So the point I'm trying to make is you don't need these massive lists. You could even create a free one using Google Sheets of phone numbers and emails of people that you meet at RIA clubs. This is my favorite way to do it. And it's the easiest and the most cost-effective way to do it. And then when you get a deal, you just text or call all the people on the list or send them an email. You don't need to have these massive, massive lists to be blasting all the time. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, we can get a MailChimp. We can get Ari Simply. We can do all these things. We can use community.com. You know, REI Black Book's another great CRM. FreedomSoft's another great CRM. I mean, there's 100 solutions, but here's the problem. And Brent, I think you really kind of led to this a second ago. When we're sitting here and we're talking about all these things and we're comparing the pros and the cons, guess what we're not doing? We're not sending mail. We're not talking to sellers. We're not running appointments. We're over analyzing our business. We're thinking too hard about, you know, what we could be doing. And instead, we're not doing anything. So that's my 2 cents on that topic. I hope I wasn't offensive. It was a great question, you know, but like, don't worry about that. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's, you know, these are tools that we can use to sell deals. But check this out. If we don't have deals to sell, how useful are these tools, Brent?
Yeah, they're not. We don't need them.
We don't need them.
We're wasting money. We just
And
can't
time.
answer first.
100%.
And this is we're just wasting money. This is no disrespect to our
no, not at all. Of course. Great question.
Yeah. We were actually using a call, like an answering service. We just canceled them Friday.
I've used 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, we looked at the past 6 months and realized we have been spending, you know, several $100s a month. And we were like, has this service gotten us a deal in the last 6 months? No. How much time has it cost us? Almost 19 hours. It cost us of our time to get them on the scripts. We could have been out writing letters to people in foreclosure.
That's a great looking letter.
Like I did that this morning. I wrote like
4.5 sentences.
Yeah. It's super simple. My name's Brent. I help people solve problems with real estate and foreclosure problems. I'm not a realtor looking for a listing. Call or text me if you want to have a conversation or talk. Like, I'm not getting them to commit. I just want them to call me. And you could drive to these properties. You can text these people. But I was just sitting there. All 3 kids were watching their tablets this morning. I pulled some paper off the printer and started writing, you know, prospecting, hunting. That's what we're doing. But I want to start blasting through some questions here. A really cool question that I saw that just came through. This is from Cassie. Bit off topic, but how did Lauren Hardy sneeze 3 times in the last Rhino roundtable without making any noise at all? All right. I don't know. Lauren's not here today. She's on vacation. She loves you guys, but I will let her know she was asked about. Next question. Actually, I just saw one pop up. Lakeland, Florida. What's up, Kevin? Tips for comping land, actually figuring out what land is worth. My first tip is go and look and see what is selling for. What does Zillow say it's selling for? What does Redfin say it's selling for? What does, you know, PropStream say it's selling for? And maybe you don't have a subscription to PropStream. Hey, Chris.
Hey, brother. He's back.
No sound this time. No sound. I don't hear your sound though.
This time, how about now?
Yes!
Hey, we got you, brother.
Someone's going to get a victory bell today. Throw it in the chat bar if you would like a victory bell. We'll pick one of the just out of blindness, and we'll send you a victory bell. We'll send you a private message though. You're going to have to send us a message on the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook page with actually, you know, how do we get your contact information? I guess a private message. And we will get your mailing address and your name, and we will send you one of these beautiful victory bells. So definitely, you can throw it in the chat, but also you have to send us a message on the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook page with just saying victory bell, and we'll pick one name and send a victory bell. But comping land, going back to comping land, let's just say that you're in one of those aggravating non-disclosure states, which I love to buy land in those states. I'm seeing some of the land sharks that are doing the best are in non-disclosure states like Colorado and Texas and, you know, places like that, Utah. Well, then find that realtor for these non-disclosure states. Find that realtor that is listing all the land in that zip code and getting all the land sold in that zip code. How do you find that? Go to Redfin and click on every single one of those sold dots and see who listed it and who it was bought by. The bought by is the buyer's agent. The listing agent is, you know, self-explanatory. You can do the same thing on Zillow. Click on every single one that sold, and I want you to take that realtor out for a coffee. Maybe you're not in the area. Call that realtor and say, look, I'm a brand new real estate investor, or I'm a land investor, whatever. I need your help. Let's do some business together. How do I figure out what a half acre is going for in the 80906 zip code? So that's my 3 ways right there.
That's great. That's all you need, guys. Don't overthink it. It's going to
All
require a
right.
little bit of work, a little bit of effort. But if you put in that effort and put in that work, you're going to do deals.
It is work. That's one thing I don't think people talk about enough. It is work. Will you have things blow up in your face? Will you make mistakes? Yes, yes, and yes. How can I get started in wholesaling with absolutely no money? Is there a way? This is from James. You know, I feel like that was
Yeah,
was me.
absolutely. I mean, guys, all you got to do if you have no money. Now, here's the thing: you're gonna have to do this 2,000 times, maybe less. But you got to understand this is gonna be a lot of work if you have no money. All you got to start doing is calling all the for sale by owners, all the landlords that have houses for rent, and just be super consistent with these people. So once you get through all of those, let's say you live in a big town, that may take you a week or two. If you live in a small tiny town, you might be able to get through that in an afternoon. And then after that, you got to start calling all the realtors, all the property managers, all the eviction attorneys, all the divorce attorneys. Like, making the calls to these people aren't going to cost you anything. It's going to cost you time, not money. So if you don't have the time, this probably isn't for you if you don't have any money to pay for some marketing. But if you got the time, you can do this, no problem. Call eviction attorneys, call divorce attorneys, call property management companies, call home inspectors, call appraisers, call the guys that are out there doing the surveys, right? Go make a friend with somebody up at the utility company and get a list of code violations. Go to the city records and find out, who's getting a divorce in the area, right? Call them up. Make a phone call to them. So, at the end of the day, marketing is just a fancy word for getting people on the phone. If you can't afford the bandit signs, which is probably going to be one of the cheapest ways of marketing, you only need, 30, 40 of them at a time or less, then you're going to need to, get on the phone. I love sending direct mail. It costs money, though. It ain't free. Let's be honest. I love driving for dollars, but even that requires some gas. Unless you're going to do it on the bus, maybe you could do it on the bus, right? I've even had some times in the spring and the summer where it's nice, and I'll get on my bike and go ride 10 miles, and I'll find 10 or 15 leads to then go home and send a letter to or call them up. Mm-hmm. But this business is feasible. I get deals all the time that are free. Another way to get free deals is to not keep your business a secret. I think I've said that 3 times now. But it's so incredibly important. You can't keep your business a secret. You got to be screaming from the rooftops. And that's what you're doing when you're sitting at home making calls to property managers and eviction attorneys and anybody and everybody that's involved. Go find a title company and go make friends with that title company and ask them if they ever have any deals that fall apart where the seller comes up there to close and the buyer doesn't show.
Oh, that's gold.
1 in 50 or 1 in 60 of those deals that a title company's running through their business, the buyer doesn't show up and they're MIA. Raddick owns a title company. He knows. How much does that happen, Raddick? It happens every now and then.
Yeah, too often.
Guess who they call in my city when that happens? They call me because they say, hey, this guy's trying to sell this property and the buyer didn't show up. And I'll literally look at the numbers and say, I'll show up and buy it, or I'll make them a new offer right now. It doesn't cost $1 to do that, but you got to make the friends. You got to get on the phone and you got to scream from the rooftops that you're looking to buy properties. If you are not doing that, then you are going to need money to spend on marketing. You're going to need the bandit signs. You're going to need the billboards. You're going to need the direct mail. You're going to need the radio. These are just tools to get people on the phone. But guys, we have one of these little things in our pockets, and most people have an unlimited plan for less than 60 or 70 bucks a month. You don't need the CRM. You don't need the phone system. You can use this one, the one that's in your pocket. So I'm going to get off my horse, but that's an excellent question. But there's no excuses, though. That's the answer. There is no excuses. Stop laying on the couch. Stop watching Netflix. Start making phone calls to people that own properties that you can help solve some problems in their life. And that's the coolest part about this business, guys. You can make a lot of money, but you can do it with integrity. You can help people and create win-win scenarios. And every time we buy or sell a house, we are creating a ton of commerce in our market. Title companies are involved. Insurance companies are involved. Contractors may be involved at some point down the road, maybe not through you, but through the guy or girl that you sell it to. Survey companies are involved, insurance, like so many things are happening. You're creating so many jobs for people. Whenever you can help somebody, out of a bad problem and get that house into somebody else's hands that can take care of it. You're making the neighborhood nicer. You're bringing up the value of the properties, which increases the tax revenues for the county and the city. I mean, there's an infinite amount of things that are happening in the background. It's amazing. This is such a cool business. I'm so glad to be in this business.
What about you, Chris Raddick?
Hey, I'd also throw this out there as well. I mean, I know the question was absolutely $0, but I do believe that, I mean, if you can just scrape up, even as little as like $100 or $50, you can buy data of people that are up for foreclosure. You can buy, and literally just send me a direct message on Instagram @CradRock, and I'll connect you with a couple data companies. I mean, I know there's just a bunch out there where you can get a cell phone number, you can get email addresses, and literally you can call, you can text, you can email, and you just get in front of people. It's going to create some hard work. The less money you have, the more work you're going to have to put in. But that's kind of the way that it rolls. So I know it's not $0, but it's very close to $0. And heck, go DoorDash, go do something, make a few bucks so that you can buy that data and then get out there. That's my take.
Hey, David Dodge, enjoy that hockey game. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Hey, I love you guys. I'll see you all soon. Sorry I can't make the whole thing today, but you guys are rhinos, so act like it. Just go. Don't stop. Don't think. Don't overthink. Signing off. See you, fellas.
Yes. Charge forward. Hey, remember that book, Rhinoceros Success. This is not talked about enough. I was actually looking at another Scott Alexander book off of my shelf. I know I've got Rhinoceros Success on one of those shelves, but Scott Alexander, rain or shine as well. Like, it's going to be raining or it's going to be shining, but we've always got to be pushing forward. And I'll tell you, I talked about it this morning, how they were on their tablets and they were being quiet. It took me maybe 10 minutes to write all these 6 letters. How much did it cost me? A pen, this paper. All right, now I'm going to mail each one of them. That's 50 cents each. But how did I get the people to mail? Head on over to landsharkslist.com and get a 7-day free trial to PropStream and go and pull the notice of default or the Liz Pendens. And that's where I found these letters, or that's where I found the information, the people to write these letters to. What's really cool is I'm finding land. Well, not really cool for the owners of the land because they're now in foreclosure, but I have not seen a lot of land in foreclosure in the last 2 years. I'm coming across it now. So it took me a couple, like 10 or 15 minutes to write those 6 letters. I'm going to put them in the mail, but that cost me 50 cents each. So 4 of these letters, it's going to cost me $2 to send it out, or 2 letters is going to cost me $1. You're right, Chris. You do need a little bit of money for this. Maybe go deliver pizzas or do some DoorDash, or while you're doing DoorDash, you can drive for dollars. When I go on my runs, I pull out the Deal Machine app. And I take pictures of lots. I take pictures of houses that are deteriorating. I take pictures of office buildings. I try and do a different run route every day. And that costs me next to nothing, like $49 a month for Deal Machine. All right, let's do some more questions. Do you think land is less targeted than single family for wholesaling? No, without a doubt. Yes, I do. Land is less targeted than houses. Absolutely. Way less competition. How to do cold calling. I want you to look up TTP with Brent Daniels. How to do cold calling. You can do it with a cell phone. I just talked about PropStream, and you can literally skip trace these people on PropStream, or go to batchleads.com and skip trace. Get an actual list of people with their phone numbers and start dialing.
Hey, Brent, can I share
Please.
Hey, Brent, can I share the first deal that I ever did? So it's crazy. I literally went and just started knocking on doors of people that were going up for foreclosure. And when somebody actually said yes, my first deal, I was like, oh crap, what do I do now? Because it was before the internet, so I couldn't find like a wholesaling contract online. I didn't even know what wholesaling was. So I was just trying to figure all of that out. And so I ended up just calling a real estate agent that I was friends with and just said, hey, this guy wants to sell at a discount. Can you write it up and we'll just split the deal? And so that's how we did it. So I'll tell you, don't let things get in the way of what you're doing. Just go out and get it done. Don't overthink it.
So good. Yes, so true. So true. All right. Next question here is from Emma. What form do I use to get paid? I'm not sure what form you're speaking about. I'm assuming maybe the assignment agreement where you sell your purchase agreement. If that's what you're talking about, the assignment agreement that shows how much you're going to make as far as an assignment fee, I will give you that form right now. You just have to head on over to thelandsharks.com/assign, ASSIGN. Again, that's thelandsharks.com/assign. I'm going to ask you for your name and your email address, and I'm going to send you the actual assignment agreement that I use in my business almost every single day. All right. No car, no money, best way to start. I think we kind of talked a little bit about that. You do need a little bit of money even to send these letters. Let's see. How much money do I need to Burr properties? Oh, man, David Dodge left. So, Chris, you want to take a stab at this one? As far as Burr, I assume that means buy, renovate, rent, refinance, Burr method. You want to take a shot at that, Chris? We'll at least answer it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you personally don't necessarily need the money. What you need to do is find the deal. And then there's plenty of people with hard money out there, but there's also people with private money as well. So let me give an example. Right here is an iPhone, right? My iPhone probably would sell for about $1,000, maybe more, maybe less, whatever, but it works. But Brent, if I were to ask you, hey, will you buy this iPhone for $100? Would you?
Heck yeah.
What would be your comment?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But you have a phone, right, Brent? You don't necessarily need a phone. Right. But it's a deal. So here's the deal. If you find the deal, then you can go, all you have to do, if you lock up the deal, then you can find people like me and legitimately you find a killer deal, reach out to me. I'll partner with you. I'll JV with you. Brent will JV with you. People will JV with you
all the time.
If you find the deal. So the biggest key is to find the deal, and then you can find the money, hard money, and then find some private money to do the down payment for your first couple deals. After you've done a couple deals, a lot of hard money lenders will give you even 100% of everything, and then you can refinance it after the fact. So the reality is finding the deal is the most important part. And then once you find a killer deal, you can find other people with cash, right? Like I've got a buddy right now who he needed cash for something, called me up, asked me to borrow. I lent him the money to do a real estate deal. And it's out there. As long as the deal is good, people will lend the money.
I didn't know you'd lend me money, Chris. I'm going to start calling you when I need it.
Brother, if the deal's right, I'll always lend the money. Come on.
Absolutely. We actually bird our office building. It doesn't just have to be a house or an apartment complex. We're actually working on a 19 unit. We're going to bird that as well. But so Jen found our office building for $160,000. There was a hole in the ceiling, and we got a hard money loan. I think we paid 2 points on the 160, plus I think it was like 9% interest. And we had 1 year to renovate this property. And in this case, we're using our cash that was coming in from land payments to renovate the building. Big mistake. I should have borrowed another $200,000 to renovate that building as well from the hard money lender, because I used our own resources, and it really kind of put things a little bit of a strain on my company for a while there, because the renovation cost actually more than the building, almost $200,000, a little over $200,000. And then we refinanced it. But let me tell you, on a commercial property, you actually need a lease in place, tenants in place to get your evaluation, because it's built on cap rates. So it was a failed Burr in my situation, because I did not get all my cash back out of the property because I did not have leases in place. Now we have a lease in place. Now the building's worth a lot more, but we were going to use it for ourselves. So we should have just set up a lease for ourselves to rent it. But that's completely getting a little bit off track here. But it just depends on how much money you need to Burr. People like Chris Raddick, there's people out there with cash that will partner with you. So hopefully that helps Mallory. All right, let's go to the next question. How do I find buyers, from Adam Thomas? I love this question, but I'm going to let you go first, Chris Raddick, and I'll maybe fill in the dots if I can think of anything that you don't mention.
Yeah, so here's my take. First thing, I mean, obviously there's a ton of different opportunities as far as getting a buyer's list. So I think I'll let Brent hit the traditional stuff, but I'll hit the stuff that I think is much less traditional. If you're able to find some of the realtor lists and some of the opportunities where you can get in front of realtors, Facebook groups, all of the different groups like that, you're going to find buyers that are willing to pay retail. If you go to all the Facebook groups, if you want to just find regular buyers, just go to a Facebook group. I live in the DC area, so just go on Facebook and you'll hit a search, investment, real estate investor, DC area, and then you'll find about 15 groups, right? And then you can post in those groups. But the crazy thing is, those groups you're going to make a margin on. But the difference is, if you sell to retail buyers that are willing to pay 95 cents on the dollar and think that they are getting a steal, you are going to get such a better margin. You're going to make so much more money. And there's opportunities there. A lot of these retail buyers, they have cash. Other ones, there are lenders that will pay assignment fees if you work with people, and I'm willing to, send me a message on Instagram or wherever. Go to my page, chrisraddick.com. I'll introduce you to some lenders that will do a 30-year fixed loan so that you can use those to buy retail, and you're going to make a whole heck of a lot more money per every assignment that you do.
Yeah, so good. So good. Yeah, if you can find those retail buyers, if you can extend your contract a little longer, I love the retail buyers. One way we're finding our buyers is signs, Craigslist ads, Facebook buy-sell group, Facebook marketplace. But let's just say you're looking for maybe house buyers. Call the title company up and ask who's buying the most houses right now, and would they share that information if you use them as an actual title company to close those deals. Another way is, looking at realtors that just sold the property. How do you find those realtors? You can call a real estate agent and get the list of solds for the last 6 months, buyer's agent and listing agent. And I would literally just call every one of those buyer's agents and say, hey, my name's Brent. I'm a real estate investor. I come across great deals all the time. I was wondering if I can reach out to you next time I had one in my hand. I noticed you just closed on a property about 3 months ago. And 9 out of 10 realtors are going to say, heck yeah, call me. Maybe you can't get that list. You can go on Zillow.com right now or Redfin.com right now and click the sold button and see who is listing these properties, who is bringing the buyer. I'm more interested in who's bringing the buyer, because that realtor, if they've got one buyer, they might have 3 or 4 or 5. Foreclosure auctions. Go ahead, Chris.
I was also going to say this. So this is something that I know a lot of investors are not thinking about, but I keep saying this. You're going to have to get licensed to wholesale in a lot of different states. And here's the other piece. You'll have opportunities to sell properties if you to folks, if you get a realtor license, like that is another opportunity out there. You then are in every single realtor. You're at all the events. You find agents that have other opportunities out there on that front. A lot of MLSs will allow you to list your wholesale deals on their MLS. So with equitable rights, so you can actually have people see it on the full MLS. So you're not even have to get buyers on that. So, and you get MLS access. I think it's a no-brainer, and it's not that hard to get a realtor license. So that's another piece too. It'll help you have a bigger footprint, to a bigger megaphone to tell everybody about your deals as well.
Yeah, I always try and list the properties if possible. Especially if I buy them, we have a listing agent list them. And I'm gonna mention one more that's done very well for me is foreclosure auctions. If you've got the luxury in your county to be able to go physically to the trustee sale or whatever the foreclosure auction and be there a few minutes early, and maybe you've got a property that you're going to be doing an inspection period on, or you've got a deal under contract, you can literally hand out flyers as each one of those cash buyers walk in there. I mean, some of these guys have deep, deep pockets. Sometimes they're buying for institutions. You can pass out your flyer that has maybe your website on it or your email address or your phone number with that property and get that buyer's information. If you show up there weekly, you are going to make enough connections. 5 or 10 of these buyers, heck, it only takes one, really. It only takes one buyer to change your life. And you don't need, like David Dodge was saying, you do not need like thousands and thousands of buyers. I mean, it really only takes one. I prefer a couple, but it really just takes one good one.
That's right. I actually have some wholesaler friends that literally only have they're doing like 8 to 12 deals a month, and they only have I think they've only got like 6 or 7 buyers. Now, I don't think that's a healthy, sustainable model for the long term, but literally they're selling to 6 or 7 buyers. So all you need is a few to really start building a big business. Now, that's, again, it's not your long-term strategy, but you definitely can build a big business with just a few.
Absolutely. Yeah, the bigger the better, obviously, but it really just takes one if you're just getting started. All right, this next question is from Marcus Albright. What do you guys do to get people to sell in this market? Um, Great question. Great question. I think the market's changing. I think it's going to get easier for us buyers to buy some deals here very soon with the changes in the market. Rising interest rates. Inventory coming back in. But what do we do in the market that just sellers can just throw things online and sell it? We just talked to more sellers. We looked for more problems we could solve. We got creative. Sometimes our seller had to rent back from us for a year. Sometimes the seller needed like some capital to get them across the country. We literally just turned a seller's lights back on and water, so he could basically give his dogs water. He had jugs sitting in his house that he was going and spending money he didn't have to be able to give his animals water. But we got that water turned back on, and this guy was so thankful. And we might not even buy the house, but we do now have it under contract. But it's just going the extra mile for people like that, and just figuring out what problems we can solve. And that's really it. It's not about conning someone. It's not the book Never Split the Difference, or where the FBI negotiator Chris Voss is telling us all these negotiation techniques. It's being human, finding a problem we can solve, and it's might not be a problem in our eyes, but we got to remember sometimes our sellers have went through death, divorce, loss of job, loss of health, which could be the worst thing possible, and they're not in their right minds. And we just have to figure out a solution for them and be kind enough to listen and figure out what they're going through. And you just have to talk to enough people and see if you can help them. So that's how we get people to sell in this market.
Yeah. Here's the main thing. All sales is leadership. And, sometimes you're a really good salesperson and you lead people in a poor way. You lead people in the wrong way. Like, the goal isn't to scam somebody out of their house, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to find out what they want, right? And that's why I love, again, my whole model is you wholesale deals, and then the deals that where people want retail, you do retail, right? Let's say your average price point is 300 grand. If somebody says, hey, I want I want 300. I want 300 for it. You sell it as an agent, you make 10 grand as the agent. You know, if somebody says, hey, I want 180 for it, then you get them 180 and you wholesale the deal, right? Like that's the whole thing. But here's the question that people need to be answering. I do think the market is strong right now, but most people have all of their equity tied up in real estate. And so we need to ask the question, if we are in a place right now where we're like, let's say 2008 were to come again and you were to lose most of the equity in your house, what would happen right now? Is it important to you to sell quickly and just get out knowing that you can get this much money for the house? Or do you want to go forward and just see what happens in the future? Obviously, the market, life, the economy is unstable right now. Like the question is, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to just go forward, or do you want to, you know, take a solid number now? And that's one of the reasons why people will trade their car in at the dealership, right? Think about a dealership. Everybody knows you are going to make more money on Craigslist than you are trading your car in, but people are willing to take less money for certainty, right? So that's that whole thing. If you can give them certainty, if you can say, hey, I've got a cash offer for you, we'll get it done. Here's the deal. They'll take less money, just like they would take less money if they traded their car in at a dealership. Everybody knows they're making less there, but they want it for certainty.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was so nice. I just traded in a truck. I took it there dirty. It had garbage in the back of it. I mean, rocks from where we were doing landscaping in my yard. It was great. And I get a new one. It's clean. It's full of gas. And it was the best thing ever. That is such a good analogy. I want to do that that's what we want to do for our house sellers, our land sellers, our land buyers. Like, we want to provide such a great service. Like, how do we go so far above and beyond? You know, I heard Tony Robbins say one time, like, I charge $5,000 for my seminar, but I want you to get 5 million from it. You know, he's bringing so much value for the price that he's charging. So good. All right, the next question is from Mike P. Do your students only wholesale land in super rural areas, or can this be done in the more suburban parts of the country too? So, great question, Mike, actually. I was doing a poll across the Land Sharks community for the last couple of weeks. I'm finding more students are actually doing more deals and more like suburban areas, more infill lots, buildable lot areas, and doing like larger chunks of cash than they are the seller financing rural areas. Because why? Why are they doing that? Look at what we've seen in the last 2 years. My focus, I love focusing on the rural stuff because I seller finance that stuff. I want the payments coming in. But let me tell you, the shiny object for the last 2 years, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, the shiny object have been the buildable lots, the stuff in the suburban, like the more dense areas, because you could buy one of these lots for $30,000 and sell it to a builder for $100,000. Now, has that slowed down a little bit? I believe so, yes, because builders are starting to get a little nervous. They're seeing the times change and they're not buying up the land as fast as possible. But what I have not seen slow down is our land buyers buying the rural stuff from us, because it's just regular old 9 to 5 people that want to just have a piece of land someday, maybe. So the answer is yes. Do the students actually wholesale land in more suburban parts too? Absolutely. Yes. All right. The next one is from Scotty.
How about the question here about getting your first rental? I was thinking about doing an FHA for my first one and then buy the second one not too long after. How about that one?
Go ahead, please.
That's one of my favorite questions. I've helped so many people. Like I've got a goal that I'm going to help 10 people become multimillionaires within the next decade. I think I'm at 3 right now in the last 3 years. So I'm 1 for 1 every year. And I'm hoping we'll get a lot more. But one of the main ways people are doing it is like that, through house hacking. So FHA is a good option. But also, if you're a first-time home buyer, the first time you buy, you can buy. Most states have first-time home buyer grants where you can buy with 0 money down. Right. And then you can finance the closing costs. You haven't been able to do that over the last few years. People wouldn't accept that. But right now it's changing. Excuse me. And so if you're looking to do that. I actually, one of my really close friends, I helped him do that. He just graduated from college. Like this is a number of years ago. He graduated from college. We got in, it cost him $2,000 out of pocket, which was less than he was going to pay for a first month's rent and security deposit. And he literally made $200 a month by renting out the other rooms in the property. So it was incredible. And then 6 months later, he moved to the next one. And so you can only have one FHA loan, but what you can do is if you're making more money on your rent than your payment, and it has to be 30% more than what your payment is, then your payment does not count against you. And you can go to the next one with the same, it's called a debt to income ratio, meaning you can afford another one if you have 30% more rent than what you're paying in a mortgage payment. And so then you can buy the next one with only 3% down. So let's say you're in an average area at 300,000 or 400,000. If it's 300,000, you'll have to have $9,000 down. If it's 400,000, you have $12,000 down. And you literally can do that every like 6 months, so you can buy 2 a year and just move on. And after like 3-4 years, I mean, you're going to have just a massive portfolio that doesn't cost you much at all down. Now, you can also Burr and Wholesale, like there's all these other opportunities. But if you are, oftentimes it's if you're single and you don't have a family, because it's harder to move a family around. But if you're single and young, like this is one of the best tools to get a massive rental portfolio with very little cash out of pocket.
Oh yeah, so good. I mean, house hacking really gave me my start. It really did. And I bought it with my VA loan. All right. The next question is from Scotty. I'm active duty military and currently stationed overseas. Am I able to start building my business from here so I'm set up when I get home? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. I was building my business in Colorado Springs while I was out in Fort Knox, Kentucky, working a crazy mission. We were supporting the cadets. I was working long hours, but I was still taking the time to call people and set things up while I was in another state. Now, I was not overseas. I was not doing it from overseas, but I was overseas for 3 years. And I still had my rental that I was personally managing. Not as much as setting up a business, but yeah, we have land sharks all over the country, or all over the world, I should say. One in Korea. I've got some guys right now that are deployed, and they're building their business while we speak. It's just going to take a little sacrifice. It's going to take some time blocking. Sometimes it's, you're going to be 6 hours ahead or 9 hours ahead on certain parts of the country. So you just got to figure out how to work that. But I say, what is leverage? And that's by finding someone to help us, boots on ground, money, someone to help us mail, someone to go and make those phone calls, because you're going to deal with like time zone differences in other countries. Depending on where you pick in the United States. So just factor that in, but start now, and don't give yourself, anybody listening to this, don't give yourself an excuse why you can't start today. I could have made up an excuse like, I don't want to write these letters this morning. And part of me, I'll tell you, I was sitting there writing these thinking to myself, man, we just had a high schooler over swimming in the pool, a friend of my wife's daughter. She could be writing these out for me. Maybe I should just call her and see if she can do them. No, get that out of my head. I just kept doing them. That we can always make excuses on our mind why we shouldn't do something. So keep pushing. All right. The next question is from Brooke. Am I able to get started and land on a limited budget? That was me. Yes. The answer is yes. I had very limited time and money. I started mailing the tax delinquent list. I went to my county treasurer. Some states call it the county tax collector. Some states call it the BVM. I want you to go to your county and say, who is in charge of the list of people that are not paying their property taxes? I want you to get that list. I want you to figure out who on that list is landowners, and I want you to send them a letter or a postcard. I'm going to give you the tribe postcard right now. This is what I started out sending. It's very simple. It just says, hey, I'd like to buy your land or house or whatever at 123 Main Street. If you're interested in an all cash fair offer, give me a call or text. God bless. And that postcard can be yours right now by going to thelandsharks.com/postcard. I'm going to ask you for your name and your email, and it's going to email it to you. Check your spam folder. What you got, Chris?
Hey, Brent. I also just want to say this. You are so super gracious giving out so much of this information and so much there. And literally, like, all of you guys can figure it out over time, enough time, be able to figure it out. But I just want to say this, and I make $0 from this. I don't make anything. It's just, I'm saying it because I just think it's important. Just literally buy Brent's program. If you want to learn how to do it, just buy Brent's program, because he's going to walk you through it. He's going to help you. I have no doubt he has all the information is out there. You just have to like find it all, and like over time, and then also trial and error, make a lot of mistakes that'll cost you a lot of money, and you'll figure it out. Or like literally, like I spend a lot of money on coaching, like, because I know that if I hire people, they're just going to help me get there faster. And I know that where I want to be, literally, maybe you spend a little bit of money on this program, but if you can do something in a year or 6 months that would take you 2 or 3 years to figure out on your own through trial and error, how much more money are you going to make? You're going to 10x, 20x, 50x what you spend to hire Brent as a coach to literally walk you through it step by step. So I just want to be very clear there. And I know Brent, he's so gracious and so great on this. I just want to be very clear. I think, just hiring Brent to walk you through step by step is a no-brainer.
I appreciate that very much, Chris Raddick. And also, you made me think of something too. I'm giving you guys these documents, like that assignment agreement, by going to thelandsharks.com/assign. I want you to run that agreement by your real estate attorney before you go out and use that. Same thing with this postcard. I want you to talk to legal counsel before you just start blasting and using this stuff, because I don't know if it'll work in your state. I personally use it, but I don't have a law degree either. We're definitely over on time. Again, if you'd like for us to send you a victory bell, we're going to pick one victory bell to be sent out. I need you to go to Wholesaling Inc. I need you to go to Wholesaling Inc's Facebook page, send us a message saying victory bell. We'll pick someone out, and then we're going to respond to you and ask you for your address. And Chris, any last parting words of wisdom, words of advice? I know you probably want to get back out on that lake.
Yes, I just want to show everybody this is what I'm looking at right now. I am looking forward to getting back out there. But what I just want to tell everybody is this. Literally, it's activity and skill, right? Talk to enough people, do the activity. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It does require work, and everybody else quits before they actually make any money. That's one. And then number two, I'm telling you, the future of real estate is people getting licensed and being able to wholesale deals. Maybe you're making 15 grand, 25 grand, 30 grand on every deal that you make. But for every one wholesale deal you make, you can also list 2 other deals and make 10 grand a pop on those other 2 deals that you're doing. So literally you're gonna double your income by adding that to it. So I'm telling you, think about it. You can go to chriscraddick.com, or Brent has what is it? Partner with Brent. Like, what is your site if somebody in your world wants to do that? It's partnerwithbrent.com.
You got it.
Yeah. And we'll just share with you how you can also monetize that. And I'm giving away my program for free for anybody that is looking to monetize the agent stuff that partners with us in EXP. So I just want to throw that out there.
Love it, Chris Raddick. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Rhino Roundtable live show. We do it the last Saturday every single month. We will be on here. Set your clocks. I want you to go to your calendar right now and put it for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. We'll see you the next time. I'm pulling up my calendar real quick. It's the last Saturday of the month for August. And let me just see if I can pull this thing up. My computer's running a little slow here. What is the last Saturday? That would be the 27th of August is the next time we'll be on doing the Rhino Roundtable live. Bring your questions, come on live, ask those questions. Thanks, guys, for participating. Again, go to the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook page, send us a message saying victory bell, and we might just pick you. And again, I want you to head over as well to the wholesalinginc.com website and fill out a form. Fill out a form if you want to talk to someone about your real estate investing goals And if we like what you have to say, we might even invite you into the tribe. God bless. Enjoy your Saturday and see you next time.